Welcome to Rusty's Sudoku stream. Maybe tomorrow I start doing, or I guess later today, I do start doing my No Man's Sky stream again too. We'll see. Or I might wait till the weekend. It eases my own concern. All right, we are going to be solving puzzles. Hmm. Seven, 10 in easy and 7-11 in medium. This is a little out of sequence. I solved 7-11 in easy and 7-12 earlier today. And no, I solved 7-10 and 7-12. So instead, we're going to solve 7-10 and 7-11, or 7-11 in medium, or easy and medium. All right. Today again, you were looking at the puzzle from earlier. All right, this is the easy one. Loading it up, not by easy, by a trust and create a custom game. All right, 7. Let me move this mic a little bit, and maybe it'll pick me up a little better. We'll see. Thinking we're doing lateral. We're mirroring across the vertical. There's a symmetry today. And as per usual, I'm going to hit the verify button here. If it all validates, you get 20 seconds before I start solving to grab a screenshot to any solving you want to try ahead of me, and we'll see how this goes. You could even pause the video and come back when, or pause the stream, come back when you've got the puzzle solved, and let's see where I'm at. All right, here we go. It is valid, so I'm going to give you, or let you have 20 seconds to solve this while I watch a 3D print that I restarted because the first layer, the first time through, did not completely perform. And it looks like it's doing better now. We're actually on the third layer, I believe. Maybe a fourth. At least the third. And we're at 33 seconds, so we should start working on solving this. All right. 3 possible ones here. So 3 possible ones here. 3 possible ones here. 5 possible ones there. All 6 of these could be a 1. I've got 3 possible ones here. 3 here. And 6 here. On to 2s. I'm not seeing any 2s on the board. That means pretty much any of them can be a 2 at this point. So on to 3s. So one of these 2 is a 3. That makes one of these 2 a 3. Over here I've got 3 possibilities. And here as well, 3. 5 possibilities here. 5 possibilities here, 4 here, and here. All right, 4s. Well, one of these 2 is a 4. One of these 2 is a 4. 4 possibilities here. Well, one of these 2 is a 4. One of these 2 is a 4. This one becomes a 4, so not there. That's a 4. That's a 4. This becomes a 4. Nope, not that. This becomes a 4. Not a 4 there. And we end up with 2 possibilities there and there. All right, 5s. Well, we get a 5 here. That makes this a 5. 5 there, so that's a 5. This will be a 5. And this will be a 5. And 5s are done. 6s. This is going to be a 6. This will be a 6. This one's going to be a 6. This is a 6. And this is a 6. 7s. One of these 2 is a 7. Nope, nope. This one's a 7. And that looks like that's it for 7s. All the 7s, or all the squares have 7s in them now. 8. This one becomes an 8. And down here is an 8. One of these 2 is an 8. It looks like one of these 2 will be an 8. And this becomes an 8. And this one will be an 8. So now we're down to 9s. One of these 2 is a 9. I've got 2 possibilities for a 9 here. One of these 2 is a 9. One of these 2 is a 9. That's a 9. And that's a 9, so that's not, that is. And let's see, anything else? Okay, this one's not, so that is. We're down to a pair of possibilities in these 2 squares. All right, look at 1s again. One of these 2 is going to be a 1. I've got 2 possibilities for a 1 here, 2 possibilities here. One of these 2 is a 1. I've got 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here, but one of these 2 is a 1. Means this is a 1, and we are down to this being a 1. Right. That's not correct. Neither of those. Because there's a 1 here, so these two can't be 1s. One of these two is a 1. These two is a 1. Over here, I've got 3 possibilities. 2 possibilities here. 2 here, 2 here. All right. How about 2s? Well, we've got 2 possible 2s here. 1 here, 2, 2. One of these two is 3. One of these two is a 3. One of these two is a 3. That works with these two to say one of these two is a 3. This one can't be a 3 though, so that's a 3, and that's a 9. And that leaves a 2 here. We get our first hard 2 on the board. That means one of these two is a 2. That's a 2. One of these two is a 2. I've got 2 possibilities for a 2 here. Makes that a 2, clears that one, that becomes a 2. All right, how about 3s again? We're down to 3 possibilities for a 3 here. A 3 going in here. This becomes a 3, that's a 1. So this is 1. And this is a 1. So that can't be 1, that's a 1, that's 3, that's an 8. 4, 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, another of these can be a 2, so that's a 2. And that means this is a 9, this is a 1. So that can't be a 1, that's a 1. That can't be a 1, that's a 1, that's a 2. All right. So one of these two is a 2. One of these 3 is a 3. Ah, this can't be a 3, so that's a 3. That makes that a 3, a 2, and a 4 here. And a 2 here, 8 here, 2 here. This becomes a 3, this is a 4, and that got solved in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. All right. Got that noted for future use. Let's do a play again. And again, we come up here, create a custom puzzle. And we are now going to do puzzle 711 in medium. So we get a 4 and a 5 here. A 1, a 4, and a 5 here. 2 and a 1 here. 7, 3, 9 here. 3, 8, 4 here, 9, 4, 6 here, 3, 9, 7, 3, 8, 4 here, 2, 7, 6, 3. And again, the validation, giving you 20 seconds to see if you can grab a screenshot and maybe solve it. Validated. So I now have a fiber internet connection. I've got a network card to try to put into a router that has been giving me some issues. We'll see how that works. So that gives me the opportunity to start streaming my No Man's Sky stuff again. All right, so ones, I've got 3 possible ones there, 4 possible ones here, 5 possible ones here, 4 possible here, 4 possible here, and no real guidance up here on any of these. How about 2? We got a 2 here, means, oh, and a 2 here. So one of these 2 is a 2. One of these 3 is a 2. That's not a lot of help. One of these 2 is a 2. Here I've got 3 possible 2s as well. Here I've got 4 possible 2s. 4 possible 2s here. 3 possible 2s here. And then over here I've got wide open 2s. So looking at 3s, one of these 2 is a 3. Got 4 possibilities here. 3 here, that drops us down to 2 possibilities. Always a good thing. One of these 2 is a 3, means that can't be, that is. Because these 2 being 3, potentially a 3, one of these 2 is a 3. And that means we're on to 4. We get a 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, a 4 here to solve 4. 5. We get a 5 here, which means one of these 2 is a 5. I've got 4 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here, 3 possibilities there, and 6 possibilities here. And all 5 of these are possible. That's almost poetic, isn't it? So we got a 6 here and a 6 here, which means one of these 2 is a 6. Down here, we end up with 4 possibilities for a 6 here. 4 possibilities up here. One of these 3 is a 6, as is one of these 3. Over here, we're kind of wide open on 6s in both sets of squares ourselves. All right, 6s. 6 there and there. Oh, we were on 6. 7s. Well, that's going to be a 7 there. One of these 3 will be a 7. One of these 3 will be a 7. One of these 3. Got 3 possibilities here and here. And I guess 3 possibilities here as well. So none of that can be marked at this point. 8. We've got an 8 here. Means one of these 2 will be an 8. Gives me 3 possibilities. Oh, no, we get an 8 here. And one of these 2 is an 8. I've got 3 possibilities here, 5 possibilities here, 4 possibilities here, I back that up. 3 possibilities. I don't have 5. Neither of these can be a 3 or an 8 because of this one. All right, and this is going to be an 8. Makes 2 possibilities here. An 8 here. One of these 3 is, nope, one of these 2 is going to be an 8. I still have 5 possibilities here. All right, how about 9? We get a 9 here. These 3 is going to be a 9. And I've got 3, but one of these 2 is a 9. 9 there. One of these 2 is a 9. One of these 3 is going to be a 9 because neither of these can be a 9. Nope, not that one. Neither of these can be a 9, so that's a 9. That's a 2. Either this one can be a 9, or not a 9 there. One of these 3 is a 1. I got a 2 here, 3, 4. So one of these 3 is going to be a 5 as well. This one is a 5 here. So that makes this a 5. Simple rules of Sudoku. I can't have one in here. And this one can't be 1, so you need 1 in this row. All right. Still 3 possibilities for a 5 there. 5 possibilities here. One of these 2 is a 5. And I think that's all I can do at the moment with 5s. 6s. One of these 2 is a 6. Makes one of these 2 a 6. Down here I've got 3 possibilities. Here I'm going to have 5 possibilities. All right. 7s again. One of these 2 is a 7 now. And it's going to be that one. That can't be a 7, but that can be. Means one of these 2 is a 7. One of these 3 will be a 7. One of these 2 is a 7. That's going to do for the moment. So I've got 2 possibilities for 1. This one's going to be it. That makes this one a 2. This can't be a 2, so one of these 2 is a 2. That becomes a 2. That becomes a 6. That leaves 1s and 5s here. That means one of these 2 is a 5. And the other is going to be a 1. So 1 and 5 locked in here. 9's here, 7's here, 2's here. That means what I've got left goes in here, and it looks like that's going to be a six, which looks like it'll work. That's not going to be a 6, so one of these 2 is a 6. Goes with one of these 2 being a 6. And let's see. One of these 3 is a 1. And then we get 5s and a couple of 3 spots here as well. So 1, 2, 3s. 4, 5. 6 is going to be one of these three. Because this can't be a 6. We need one of the options in here to be a 6. Right. None of these can be a 6. One of these two is a 6. Okay. 3 possibilities for 1. There are 2 possibilities for 2. 3 is all given. 4 is learned. Oh. No. Those two will be a 5. One of these two will be a 5. That means one of these two is a 5. So it's a 6 and not a 2. That makes this a 2, this an 8. And that means this is a 1. This becomes a 5, this is 1. Not a 2, so that's a 9. A 7 and a 2. So 1, 2. These two is a 3. 4, not a 5, so that's a 5. One of these two will be a 6. This gets to be a 7, meaning that's not a 7, that is. 8 is going to be either here, or in fact, it is going to be here. Makes this into a 6. Yep. And then we get a 9 in one of these two spots. Oh, can't be that one because of that one, so that's a 9, that's a 3. And that makes this a 6, an 8 here, 9 here. And we got 1, 6, or 8, 6, and 3. It could potentially be here, but it can't be a 6. So that's a 6. That turns this one into a 3. This is going to be our 8, because that can't be an 8 now. That's going to be a 1. And this will be a 2. So one of these two, this one will be a 2. Making this a 6, a 5, and a 6 here. One of these two is going to be a 1. Not a 1 here, so that's a 5, that's a 1. And that makes this into a 5. Making this a 5. And let's see, this can't be an 8 anymore, so that's an 8. And that turns that into a 1. So, 13 minutes and 40 seconds to complete this one. I want to say thanks to everybody who hung out with me, said hi, and had a good time. Did not stand in awe of me at all, because I don't believe you should be standing in awe of me. I am not that good. I want to say thanks anyway, and wish you a wonderful day.